Kenya, girl, why is it so damn hot in this venue, honey? Why is it so hot? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, AlexisMaurice, and it is time for my review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Episode 3, Season 8, Party in a Damn Sweatbox. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine, put on some lipstick, pull up a chair, honey, because we need to discuss, first off, Kenya, why is it so damn hot in this venue? But before we get to that, go ahead and like this video while I take my first sip. Share it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that stuff, because you know I'm trying to come up. So Kenya, congratulations are in order to you. Toast to you for the launch of your Kenya Moore hair care products. You have some long, beautiful black hair, so I am truly convinced and I'm confident that you're going to transfer the knowledge that you have on keeping that long, silky black hair into these bottles and distribute it out to the people, girl, because you know I'm all for black entrepreneurship. Congratulations to you. Kenya. Now, girl, now you my girl. You are my girl, honey. You know, I rocks with you. I fucks with you. But, honey, now you was fabulous. Now, you supposed to be Miss Fabulous and everything. Why the air conditioning ain't working in that venue? Was it no Freon? I mean, what is the deal, girl? Was that not a part of the package? Why was it so damn hot up in there? But next time, I'm gonna need for you to find a little venue that's a little cooler, girl, because everybody was sweating boots up in there. I mean, when you look at the camera, the cameraman was being very shady. They was zooming in on people's foreheads what the sweat was, and girl, it was just hot. It was hot as hell in that venue from what everybody looked like. Even your titties, girl, at one point in time had a whole bunch of sweat. Candy titties was sweating. It was just sweating. Everybody was just so damn hot up in there. Girl, Kenya, it was so hot in there, people was losing their mind. People was delirious. They became delusional. They thought your hair care products, honey, was bottled water because they want to open it and start drinking it. How tacky was that? Hey, Shamira, whatever your name is, girl. Hey, girl, hey, how you doing? You made you a little entrance onto the Real Housewives of Atlanta, coming to Kenya's event, being shady, girl. But I can't say that I probably wouldn't have done the same thing. Now, Kenya, I understand greatness takes time, just like Candy said. But I thought it was probably just a little bit tacky for you to not have the products in the actual containers or the bottles. Now, those bottles that you had at the event, it was just going to be a loss. So if people stole them, they stole them. But they should have at least had some hair care products in them. But in your defense, Kenya, you did tweet out and said that the gift bags that people received when they left the party did have the actual, hair care products or whatever it is, girl, in them containers or whatever. But that was a little tacky. If I have to say so myself, that was really, really tacky. Everybody got on Sheree, just like she said in her confessional. Shout out to Sheree for that. Bitch, you was snatched in that red and that little bulb that you had going on. You was snatched for the gods. But just like Sheree said, people clown her for not having no fashion in her fashion show. Here come Kenya having a hair care launch and she ain't got no products at her hair care launch. I'm just saying. But Kenya, who was this dude that you had on your arms, girl? He looked like he was straight burnt. Straight out of the suntan bar look, whatever the case may be, girl. I don't know what was going on. He was a little red or his color was a little off. I don't know if he was Italian or if he was European or something, girl, but his color was a little off. And I don't know if Phaedra was being shady saying that you met him at the dermatologist. I don't know if it was his skin or who is he, girl? You could have at least given us some type of introduction. But I am glad that Kenya and Sheree decided to let bygones be bygones. They went around the corner, away from everyone else, not up under the influence of Marlo or Phaedra or anyone else. They had a talk. They decided to let bygones be bygones, and that proved to everyone that these women can come and sit down and talk like adults. So I'm glad to see that, because I didn't want to see the two of them fighting for the rest of the season. I wasn't here for that. And speaking of which, to the producers, now, y'all could have at least gave Claudia a confessional. So Claudia up in the joint, she up at Kenya's little hair care launch. Kenya was speaking to her as she was walking by. They gave her a little shout out, her name down at the bottom, Claudia, or whatever, and they kept it moving. Y'all could at least gave Claudia a confessional or something like that. That was real shady. That was really, 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 really shady. So earlier in the episode, we saw Phaedra and Portia go get their ass cleaned. Yes, they got their donkey booties flushed out or whatever. I've never got my colon cleansed before, but I think I want to try it. Ain't nothing wrong with, getting a little flushing, get that bacteria. Sometimes you have little pockets of shit up in your large intestine and your small intestine. Sometimes you need to get a little flush to flush that shit on out. So I think I might go get me one of those. But we saw Portia and Phaedra going to, get their colon cleansed or whatever the case may be. And so, once again, Phaedra is going behind Candy's back and talking about her. Now, it wasn't as extreme as it was before, but she was kind of the same song and dance about Apollo stuff being at Candy's house. And then we also had a scene simultaneously between Candy and Todd talking about this. And Todd kind of brought up a good point. His point was, Apollo asked him, could he put the stuff there? He didn't ask Candy. And that's a good point. Now, again, if I was in Phaedra's position, I don't know how I would feel about that whole situation. I'd probably be pissed off if I found out that my BFF was hiding my ex's stuff at the house. But according to Candy, she didn't know that it was a secret. But again, it was between the men. It wasn't between those two. What should have Todd done? Maybe he should have went and got a storage for Apollo or something like that. I don't know. Alright, I really don't give a damn. But, I can kind of see both sides in this whole situation. But I don't like how Phaedra goes back and she's talking to Portia about this whole situation. Yickety yak going on about it. But, if I was Phaedra, I possibly would be upset about that too. I just don't know how I would feel about that. Speaking of Portia, Portia's talking about, crying at everyone's, telling her to slow down when it comes to Duke or you don't know him. Portia, all I'm going to say is that you should be happy that people care about your well-being, that they don't want to see you get taken advantage of. Because, you do come across as a little immature, and some people might think that you are rushing into this. Are you rushing into this because you are really in love with him? Or are you rushing into this just so you can have a storyline this season? I don't know. I'm just calling the thing a thing, calling the spade a spade. That's just how I feel. It just seems very rushed just because you just want to have something to talk about during the actual season. But you should be happy that people are concerned about you and your well-being and protecting the little empire that you are building for yourself. So I know that, when you're fresh in a new relationship, you don't want to hear all of that negativity. But from some people, it is coming from a place of concern. And last but not least, we have Miss Cynthia. Cynthia and Peter got some newfangled shit going on in their marriage. Now, I actually, on one side, I applaud them for having the openness in their relationship and Peter being cool with Leon just rolling up in their house. Granted, that is Noel's father, but at the same time, most men ain't going to allow their wife's ex-boyfriend or their baby daddy just be rolling up in their house or whatever the case may be. Any business you got with Noel, that should be handled at a neutral territory, down to bar one or bar none here in Atlanta, girl. We still waiting for that bar to open back up or whatever. But, in a restaurant, outside in the yard, when you picking Noelle up, drop her off. But that shows signs of progression, and it shows us, people who are not in relationships, who not have kids, who maybe want to aspire to do that. And then if we break up, that there is still some, civil co-parenting going on. But, Leon made a good point. He was like, you have a habit of running away from relationships, but this time it's different because this relationship, you decided to walk down the aisle and say, I do. To me, Cynthia, it seems like you're looking for a way out. Now, again, this is just me. I'm just a viewer. I'm just an outsider looking in from what we're shown on TV. But to me, it seems like you're trying to get out of the relationship because this is a pattern, according to what Leon said, that you do. You always run or you end relationships when things get a little bit too difficult for you. But girl, you better go get your man. You better go get your man. Peter is in Charlotte with this bar down here with all these hoochies at Sport One. My thing is, okay, if you feel that your relationship is, you guys are drifting apart, well, I'm going to go to my man. I'm going to go up to Charlotte with him every other weekend, a couple of nights out of the week. I'm just not going to sit in Atlanta and say our relationship is falling apart. What are you going to do about it? Bitch, this is a 50-50 thing. We in this together. We're vested together. You pack your stuff and you come up to Charlotte with me and hang out. I'm pretty sure Sport One could use some appearances from Cynthia Bailey. Get some of your good girlfriends, from the Real Housewives when they ain't got shit else to do, to come down, do an appearance here. I mean, y'all still are married and you're still accumulating wealth as a couple. Then you need to go down there, spend some nights, do some freaky sheiky shit with your husband, freaky deaky shit. I mean, girl, don't just sit back and just let things fall apart. Just like Peter was like, when did you stop being in love with me? Granted, Peter ain't the most innocent thing. Talking about something, he was drunk. He was a little turned up when he came to the party. That still is no excuse, Peter. But, fight for it, Cynthia. Don't just sit back and, it was like, we're agreeing that we're going to fight for this thing one more time. It's supposed to be to death do you part. And that's my thing with marriages these days. People are so quick to just give up and not do the work. I'm not married, but I know people who have been married, and I've seen people who have been married and they've divorced so quickly. And I'm just like, well, damn, did y'all even give it a fair shot? Did you try to make it work at all? So, Cynthia, all I'm saying is fight for your man. Yes, there is a reason for divorce, but we can't just automatically just jump to the divorce as our means to resolve the whole marriage or just end things between the two of you. But, like I said, just from an outsider looking in from what the producers show us, Cynthia, I think you can roll up your sleeves just a little bit more, get a little bit more dirty, and put in some work, to try to mend fences with you and your husband. I hope that the two of you can work things out, because I don't want to see another marriage dissolve in the shadows of the Housewives franchise. Because, honey, when you look between all of the Beverly Hills, Jersey, Atlanta, Orange County, New York, girl, their marriages go up in flames left and right. But that was it. That's about all that happened in this episode. I can't wait for next week's episode, honey, when it looks like Miss Cynthia and Miss Portia is going to get down. They can take a note or take a class from Kenya and Sheree, who decided to sit down and talk about things. But I'll see y'all next week when we find out what happened on that episode.